Hey, this is Dan from MusicXplorer. We're here today with Chuck Burgi. And if you don't know who Chuck Burgi is, well, you should. He's the drummer for Billy Joel's band. He's been in Billy Joel's band for the past 12 years. Prior to that, he was in Moving Out Musical. And it doesn't stop there. He's been in Rainbow, he's been in Meatloaf, he's been with Joe Turner, he's been with Hall & Oates, he's played with Bon Jovi. He's also in the band Tokyo Motor Fist. They've got 2 albums out, and their latest album is called Lions. You should check it out. So, Chuck, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Dan. Been up early. I feed lots of animals in my spare time right now. We've always encouraged the animals in our yards.
You're from Montclair, New Jersey originally, and you went to school with Joe Walsh.
I went to the same school, but we were not in school together. I was in grammar school when he was in Montclair High. He was like a sophomore in high school when I met him. And he had a band, and the way I met him was they were being driven by his mom back from a gig, and my parents lived on a main road and had jams every Friday and Saturday night. So Joe had his mom pull over and ran up to the door to introduce himself, and next thing I know, this young guy is introducing himself and his band to my folks. And then when they had some time off on any particular evening on Friday, Saturday, all through the school year, especially in the summertime, they were at my house.
What year did you start playing drums?
I wasn't really attracted to any of it until I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. And then that changed my life, got me out of what was heading towards a life of being a juvenile delinquent.
Who were your influences to get you started?
Bingo was definitely the first. Although my dad used to listen to Gene Krupa a lot with some of the big bands. And then the drummer of the Ventures, I really liked them. And I think they were the ones that got me into instrumental music. You know, everything from Walk, Don't Run to Pipeline. And then, of course, there were some odd hits on the radio that I loved, like Wipeout. I mean, that drove me mad.
So when you met Joe Walsh, you were still learning how to play?
I'm still learning how to play in my opinion. But it was through listening to Joe's band, and then also hanging out with his drummer that I started learning more about the foundations of drumming. So I have a lot to thank Joe for, and he was certainly the biggest influence on my personal life towards deciding I wanted to be a professional musician. I watched him play most weekends with with a pickup group at my parents' house. But when he left for college, he would come home, and I still had a band. I had a band all through high school and junior high. He would come and visit my folks on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And he would show the guitarists in my band, we eventually got 2, but he would show them how to play songs and what they were doing wrong and correct them and jam with us. So I had like a benchmark of somebody older to judge my growth with. And he started a band called the Measles, and they morphed into the James Gang, who eventually got a record deal.
Yeah.
So by the time I was a junior in high school, the James Gang were out and touring. So when he would come home on those Thanksgivings and Christmases, I'd be jamming with him, and he was a monster at that point. I mean, he was a pro, and he had an album out with his name on the back, and and it was mind-boggling because I felt at that point, well, if Joe can do it, I can do it, damn it. And he's so expressive, really one of my favorite guitar players, but he's also one of my favorite rock writers. Big hero in my life. Several months after high school, up in Boston, I was followed by one of the 2 guitarists in my high school band. Through certain circumstances, got a chance to meet and hang out with the Allman Brothers, who were touring on their very first album, Whipping Post and Dreams, and got a chance to sit in with them. I took Butch Trucks' place, and my friend played Dickie Betts' guitar. At the end of that night, it was really only one long jam. I was like, that's it. I got to keep playing. I got to leave college, which I didn't tell my folks at that point, but I knew I was over with college, and my friend said, listen, if we don't get a band together between the 2 of us, I got to leave. I want to go to England. And he did, and within a year and a half, he joined Bob Marley and was the lead guitarist on Bob Marley's biggest hits, biggest albums. Natty Dread, Babylon by Bus, Exodus, all of them. Al Anderson from Montclair, New Jersey, and the guitarist in my high school band ended up being that guy. And I believe he still is touring with they're calling themselves the Original Wailers. So 2 of us out of that band jamming with Joe Walsh, have at least forged a living and recorded a lot of good music.
How did you morph into getting to like jazz?
Jimi Hendrix's drummer, Mitch Mitchell, finding out that his favorite drummer was Elvin Jones, and then I heard Tony Williams. I lived and breathed Mitch Mitchell. And to do that, I had to really dig deep into some jazz. Like if you're going to play Third Stone from the Sun well, you really have to know how to play across the bar line. I still to this day listen to, I call it lead drums, to be kind. It's busy drumming that I think most other players don't want to hear. Right? If you're a song-oriented rock guy, well, I came from rock and got it so heavily into fusion that I'm kind of still there. Yeah. But I hopefully hold myself out to be a sort of respectable and a decent timekeeper and learn to play songs with vocals.
You play time and drums and pasty cymbals.
I've been with pasty since 1978. They're the best to me, for my ear, my completely damaged ears. They still sound great to me, and I use them on albums all the time and I use them live. So they're the best, and they've also been an incredible company as an endorser. Wherever I've gone, if I've needed something, man, it's just there.